Hi, my name is Ryan Paul, and along with Evan Adams, we make up DDS Analytics. Your HR department came to us with some wanting some analysis around some problems that y'all have been having regarding employee turnover. Obviously, the obvious problems of employee turnover is it causes reduced administrative efficiency. Just with if managers leave, people feel like subordinates sometimes want to leave as well. Um, Long-term goals get interrupted as key employees leave. And then also, it's just in general, they wanted to find out what helps keep employees at your company. So the overall objective is to provide a competitive edge by identifying and predicting factors that contribute to employee turnover. What we were provided was 1,100 employee records, each containing 37 variables. And among those was attrition status. So a yes would mean that employee left, and a no means that employee did not leave. So the solution is to build a robust yet simple model that predicts the most significant factors in determining employee retention and attrition. So we ran some analysis and came up with some broad strokes that we'll show you, and obviously we will work more with your HR department further on details. So what the procedure looks like is we took those 37 variables and ran logistic regression, meaning we took those variables and determined an outcome, a yes or no outcome, whether the employee would leave or wouldn't leave. So we were trying to predict that yes or no from those 37 variables. And we used stepwise model selection to determine which of those 37 variables were significant and which weren't, to try and wean them down to have a more simple model. Some of the most significant variables in determining whether an employee would leave, so whether or not that attrition status is yes, is overtime and frequent travel. More analysis would need to be done to see if how much overtime is too much overtime or how much travel is too much travel. What we were concerned with in this model is whether that employee did work overtime or whether they did travel. So those are both yes or no questions as far in this model. Another interesting tidbit was sales representatives. There's a lot of high turnover amongst or within that role. So we can talk with HR to maybe determine and look at maybe employee satisfaction surveys to determine what is it that is causing them to leave at such a higher rate. And this one, on one hand, there's not much you can do about single people. Married people tend to want to stick around, just given job security. Single people tend to not have that as a need, but maybe more work can be done to increase a sense of community amongst your workplaces. Maybe people will want to stay longer. I don't know. This one's a little bit more subjective, and we could talk more with your HR department about that as well. So these are some of the most significant factors in determining whether employees will stay. And all of them happen to be answers to a employee satisfaction survey. So these seem like no-brainers, but obviously more work can be done within specific roles to see maybe why they aren't as high for sales reps. So things like satisfied with work environment, job satisfaction, feeling of involvement in the company's success, positive work-life balance. When these scores are high, people tend to stay, which makes sense. So overall, this very high-level view. So top retention factors, obviously happy employees. Some top attrition factors, overtime, frequent travel, sales reps. With regard to overtime and business travel, obviously we will talk more with HR to determine are people working too much, and if so, what can be done to alleviate some of that? Obviously, you want employees working hard, but happier employees that stay longer usually are more productive than employees that get burnt out and leave. And then sales reps will take a look at what is it about that position that causes higher turnover. As far as accuracy goes, overall accuracy, determining yes and no, we were about 90% accurate. And of the employees that did leave, we were about 60% accurate in determining from the data and predicting whether those employees would have left or not. And we can talk more about that with HR. So thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you in the future.